So we all know how hard Bommal the Dreadhorn is. Only a handful of players were able to beat this boss on floor 90 of the hard Doom Tower on the test server, myself included, with the team that you see right here. Very RNG dependent. I'm relying on Yoshi to apply decreased accuracy so I can use all my buffs and not get stripped. Anyway, so there's a whole strategy around this. Again, this might work. I'm not saying this is not a viable strategy for you guys, but it is certainly very hard to obtain in terms of champions like Battlekhazar and Riho. Since, however, I was able to do it on the live server, floor 10 of the hard Doom Tower on auto with this team that you see right here. Okay, so this is not 100% success rate, but we did remove Riho Bone Spear. We replaced Yoshi with Kantra instead, and then we have a Battlekhazar. All right, so this is an option, but I'm also going to say that probably isn't going to scale very well because the stat requirements are probably going to be absolutely insane. But now somebody has figured out, I heard it from Stu, I think it's him, he sent me, or I saw his video from this morning rather, and it showed and proposed that you can use SAMAR GEMCURSED to solo the Dreadhorn on floor 90 of the hard Doom Tower. But much like Burongiri, I thought, you know what, probably going to be a little bit too hard, or you're going to need an insane amount of speed, because apparently even though Burongiri can do floor 10, floor 50 relatively easy for most players, you need something like 400 speed for floor 90. Nobody has that. Absolutely nobody in the game has that. So instead, we're going to use a SAMAR GEMCURSED to solo Bommal hard floor 90 on the test server with the stats that you're going to see today. So that will give you guys a working model. So all that said, let's go check it out. So let me first start with a proper shout out to StewGaming, because I saw his video, I saw the stats of his SAMAR GEMCURSED, and he's the one that proposed that I try on the test server, and luckily I pulled the SAMAR GEMCURSED on there. I'll get back to that a little bit later in a separate video as to why, but I thought it wasn't going to work. I really thought it wasn't going to work on my account because I don't think I have the same quality of gear that he has, but surprisingly enough, with a little bit of tweaking and the proper AI setup, I was able to get this to work with a very accessible team. Basically, the guy can actually solo the entire floor and the boss, but you do want to speed it up a little bit, so I put other champions in there to do that. So I played around with those a little bit. Secondly, what you guys need to understand about Bommal the Dreadhorn here is we have the data mined information for his stats. All right, so this guy has 250 speed. I think we knew that already, which is why I said that you got to be above that if you're going to walk in there with a decreased accuracy debuff. He has 330 resistance, and here's the killer, 750 accuracy. So if you don't apply decreased accuracy, there's no way you're going to resist this, right? Nobody has that kind of resistance, so you have to apply decreased accuracy, and then he's still at 375. So if you want to compensate for that with a proper amount of resistance, you would need to be between 450 and 475 resistance on all your champions to ensure you don't get stripped, and then you got to maintain the decreased accuracy on that boss. It is not easy to do. So instead, for those of you that have SAMAR GEMCURSED, let's go check out a run with this guy. So here are a few things to understand about why I chose this team, and then we'll go over the stats later and how it works. Okay, so I want to speed up the waves by bringing decreased defense, but I don't want buffs, so I'm not bringing like an Arbiter and things of the sort. I'm bringing in Zargala and Stag Knight. That's overall the three champions with SAMAR GEMCURSED that I found that I needed to just beat the waves in a relatively fast time. As for the two other champions, they're literally naked. They don't have nothing. They might as well not be there, but you still need them because of the Masteries, which we'll cover after. Okay, so overall, it is all about SAMAR GEMCURSED. We want our allies to die, but we also want to kill some of the enemy champions with SAMAR GEMCURSED. I also prevented his AI from using the A3 aside from the opener move, just to speed up the wave. Then for the boss fight, I only left the A1 and the A2. I tried with only the A1. I don't know if I just wasn't lucky, but it didn't work. Then I thought maybe the A2 is going to help a little bit, so I decided to just do it that way. All right, we're literally going to walk in there without our Stag Knight, without anybody. It's just going to be solo SAMAR GEMCURSED with the boss, but like I said before, I'm pretty sure this guy can solo the entire stage by himself. It's just going to take too much time to deal with the waves because these guys are really annoying to deal with. The other ones hit relatively hard, and I would assume you might get kind of like nuked a little bit too fast, and you might fail every once in a while. Also, pay attention here to the amount of heals that we're getting every turn. 15,000, that comes from basically his gear, and then 3,000 is come from, I believe it's kind of like the A1, right? And then we have the dread bombs popping, triggering his passive, which gives us a block damage. It needs to stay in tune, or at least it looks like it needs to stay in tune. So every once in a while, when I tried other runs, it would fall out of sync, where I would get the bombs to pop without that passive being ready, and then I would die. So what ends up happening is if you take too much damage from the boss, and he hits hard, like 13k right there, then you get an HP burn, then you get a bomb, all of that will happen at the same time, is that he might trigger that passive, the block damage. Like right there, we got it on, but then I think we get a few extra turns because we're fast enough. Well, not an extra, multiple extra turns, like one, because we're getting the turn meter boost on the A1 and we're relatively fast enough. So it's almost like in some cases we're at a 4-to-3 ratio with the boss, so we're sort of able to catch up, reset the passive, and then we make sure, or we get lucky and it's up during the dread bombs. All right, so this is number one that needs to line up. So for the speed requirements, you guys will see I'm at about 240 speed, but I also have the Spirit Haste and I believe the Whirlwind of Death on the Masteries, right? So with those combined, I'm getting pretty close to 280, I think 290 speed total. So I'm gonna say overall, you know, that should be your objective, to reach about 300 speed. Then you want a lot of sustainability, obviously with like a regeneration set. Maybe you can do full immortal. I haven't tried that so far, but overall, this is what I managed to put together. This is the only regeneration set that I have that can work for this, and it's certainly not amazing, okay? So if anything, aim for the speed and then try and work with the rest. So getting more crit rate, more crit damage if you could, so that you heal even more from the A1 would be great. I do have War Master, I do have Life Drinker. So again, very RNG. It took me about, I'm gonna say 15 tries to get this. You're also at the mercy of some weak hits. If you don't get enough weak hits, or if you don't, or if you just get regular hits a little bit too often, then you're not going to play catch up with your heal, right? So this really works better than Burangiri because he's Spirit Affinity, and obviously because he's a legendary. All right, so overall, this is it. It's going to be like this for the entire run. It's going to last a while. You do see some glitches here with the other dread bombs. I'm not sure what's causing this, but it's not 4 dread bombs. It's literally just the 2 that you see. Okay, so whatever is going on with that is probably going to get fixed. But overall, this is it. Samar Gemcursed is defeating this boss in a relatively fast amount of time with 8 minutes and 7 seconds and a turn count of 155. So now let's go check out the gear and the masteries of these champions. Starting with the naked ones, Shield Guard and Zephyr Sniper, they have absolutely nothing. Their skills are done, but I don't even think they take a turn, to be honest. They're just there to die, and I just had those lying around, so that's why I used them. But here are the 2 other ones that I think are relatively important for the waves. There might be a bunch of other champions that can work for this. Stag Knight, I removed his full shield set. I made him fast enough to debuff the waves before Samar Gemcursed is going to go. 264 accuracy is good enough. I believe they have 250 resistance, give or take, for that wave, so you should be all right in this range. The skills are done. Masteries, I removed Evil Eye. That was causing issues. If he makes it to the boss and you get an Evil Eye proc, you will get 3 dread bombs. You might not get lucky, and they might pop at different times. You're not going to have the block damage up. You're going to wipe, okay? Zargala, same concept. We don't have Evil Eye. All of her skills are done. She's in a nuke set because of the way I use her elsewhere, but again, I just wanted her to help me clear the waves as quickly as possible, but so as long as Samar Gemcursed can get a couple of kills. Okay, and we only have a single target here hit with Samar, except for the first wave where I let his A3 be the opener move, but that's not enough to one-shot those champs. Okay, we're just trying to like weaken them so we can kill them faster. So Samar Gemcursed needs to get those kills. Get a balance between Zargala or your other nuke champions so that you can ensure Samar is left with a few. All right, and then here's finally our Samar Gemcursed with a regeneration set and immortal pieces. Let me go over each of the pieces real quick so that you guys understand what could be better here a little bit. So resistance accuracy, pointless. You want HP percent, crit damage, defense percent. Like this helm right here is kind of perfect. This shield right here is decent, although the resistance is kind of pointless. The gloves are pretty good as well. We have crit rate, defense, HP, great, and some speed. The chest piece here is also kind of perfect for this. And then we have the boots, 45, 6-star, 45 speed with some defense. HP attack is kind of pointless. So again, it's a good set, but I know that some of the guys out there have some much better gear, and they're going to make this a really easy build, and they're going to have like a high success rate. All right, so for right now, this seems to be borderline, will work every once in a while, but I think it's all about the speed tuning, as I explained before, with the dread bombs and the block damage. We have an HP ring. We have an HP amulet. Resistance, again, is kind of pointless here. And then we have a defense banner. Maybe you do need a certain base amount of defense for this to work. I just didn't have an HP percent banner. I would have used that. Sorry, not HP percent, but HP. I think it would help, but for the time being, this worked. So, you know, use this as a point of reference. So for total stats, 241 speed with Spirit Haste and Whirl into Death, we're at about 283 speed, 88k HP, 78% crit rate. More would be better. More crit damage would be great. Less resistance, and you're good to go. That's it. All the skills are done. Like I said, A3 was blocked out except for the opener move. And then for the Masteries, we have this right here. So definitely more crit rate, more crit damage. I went with Grim Resolve instead of Heart of Glory because you spend more time low health. Life Drinker to get a bigger heal every once in a while when you're below 50% HP. We have Whirl into Death, so we do need to kill at least 3 enemy champions to get the full benefit of this. Then anything here with just more damage, bring it down. Wrath of the Slain, yes, we do lose all of our allies. War Master for the tier 6, of course. Kill Streak, sure, more damage. And then into the support tree here with Spirit Haste for the next one. And we have this also fully maxing out at 24 speed. So overall, that is it, guys. SAMAR GEMCURSED, our new solo expert for the Dreadhorn, Bommal. And of course, it could be a little bit better. I think it's a better option than Burangiri because, like I said, we require way too much speed with that other champion. This one is strong affinity, so if you guys do have him, I think he's a worthwhile investment right now. Although, back to my previous point, if you're just trying to beat this boss and you have the other champions already built, perhaps work with those, right? Like, we don't use SAMAR GEMCURSED for anything else, and I don't think anybody's about, like I said, to farm the Dreadhorn. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and again, huge shout out to StewGaming. I'll catch you guys later.